All right, good afternoon, NADA, and welcome to day 2. It is afternoon, so I'm thinking your feet are probably yelling at you already, but hopefully you got a good night's sleep last night. Here on the Dominion DMS stage, we continue our interview series with some of our wonderful vendor partners, and right now we are talking to Dealer50, and we have David Donaldson, who's the Senior Vice President of Dealer50. He's got big, broad shoulders and handles a whole lot of stuff inside of the company. And he's going to tell us a little bit more about what they do and how they help dealers. But before I forget, David, you have a booth here. You're in the North Hall, correct?
Yep, all the way out that way. Make sure you have a good pair of shoes if you're going to make the trek over there. We're in 6371N.
Okay, but you don't have to. You can take a bus or
I highly recommend that.
Or the loop or what have you. So
Right.
Lots of ways to get over there. And we've had several vendors who have been on the stage that are in the North Hall, and so I know for a fact that there are wonderful solutions in the North Hall. So make
100%.
the trip over there. Please do it. All right, David, why don't you tell me a little bit more about what Dealer50 does for your client base?
Sure, yeah. So first, a little bit about our company. We're an electronic title and registration provider. So we came to market in 2017 with a solution that allowed dealers to title and register vehicles in their home state. And
Is that the 50 part?
No.
Oh.
So 50 parts coming. So
Okay.
we started off in Florida and Georgia, and then migrated also to Minnesota and Wisconsin.
Okay.
But today we're here to talk about Dealer50, which is a product that allows dealers to title and register vehicles that they sell in all states. So when they get that customer, say you're a Florida dealer, they get a customer from New York that finds their dream car at the dealership, but they want to title it in New York, they'll use Dealer50 to facilitate that.
Okay, and there's a lot more of the cross-state and interaction going on, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, currently we have about 1,500 dealers using Dealer50. Pretty much every one of them that we speak to expects to sell more cars online and cross-state, and we're seeing that bear out in the numbers today.
Yeah, I know Vroom is struggling a little bit recently, but companies like Carvana are doing a lot more of that, and a lot more consumers are buying online through the digital retailing solutions that are all around us here as well. So it facilitates that happening more frequently.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, maybe one of the good things that came out of COVID, if you can say that, I mean, dealers just continue to do what they do, sell more cars, or find ways to sell more cars, just everywhere. They have a much broader reach now,
right?
Looking for those customers, not just in their own backyard. So.
Okay. So 1,500 dealers. If a dealer were to walk over to your booth and talk about, what you have going on, and they're already a dealer of yours, Dealer50 is new.
Yeah, that's
to
correct.
That.
So
okay.
Relatively new. So we came to market in 2022 with the product. We had a pilot that wrapped up in early 2022. We kind of slow rolled the product out to our existing base of dealers, almost kept it quiet. We didn't want to, outkick our coverage, right? And that allowed us to learn a lot, but today in 2024, this product is nationwide ready. We've got dealers all over the country now, California, New York, I mean, you name it, Illinois, many in Florida and Georgia, of course, where we started, and that, that's what we consider kind of our backyard. Down there, we're the household name of e-titling, and so it's been fun getting our name out and really promoting this product on a national level.
Right. Now, as a partner of Dominion DMS, I know one of the things that we share with all of our partners is that we have no intention of ever competing with you. We will never be building a registration and titling system. That's just not the way that we operate. But if I think about registration and titling in 50 states, That's a lot of work to keep that up to date and compliant in the 50 states,
Yes.
right? They're constantly changing their requirements of you.
Yes.
So how do you go about that? How do you stay on top of that? Because I imagine that's what the dealer is, part of what the dealer is expecting and part of what they're paying for.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, before I took on this position to be over the 50 product, I had a lot more hair.
You have a lot of hair now.
Right. But no, it is very challenging. So we've got an amazing team, first of all, both developers that are, very experienced in building this kind of software. We also have amazing customer support team. That team provides a lot of the research and keeping the site up to date, our calculator logic and everything like that. We also have a network of partners, tag and title agencies, full service providers, we call them, that are kind of, they're incentivized to really keep us up to date on that as well, because if we're sending them work that isn't compliant or accurate, it makes their job harder as well. So they're usually on the forefront of letting us know when there are any legislative changes that result in tax rate changes or new documents that are now a requirement. So we're kind of hitting it from all angles.
Yeah, it sounds like it, but it still sounds like a big job.
Yeah.
Hair or no hair, it still sounds like a big job. So when you talk about comprehensive solution, it's not just the fact that it's in 50 states. You've got these 4 different types of offerings within there, right?
Yeah, it really, I say comprehensive because it's, there are companies that do similar work to ours in this space, but many of them are just what we call back-end processors, right? The dealer does the job of selling the car, and then after the fact, they send it off to be titled and registered. In Dealer50, it all starts actually at the sales desk. That position is able to use our desking quote feature to generate all the tax, tag, and title fees, right down to the city and county level. We calculate things like ad valorem and property tax. So the desk gets involved from the very beginning when we're structuring the deal. Then when the car is delivered, the finance team can use the integration with Dominion to quickly pull over all of the data needed to have a final quote on the fees and generate all the documentation. So our product allows the dealer to have the customer sign everything that's needed. Then we provide all of the guidance necessary for taking the next steps. Things like, well, where are we going to send all these documents? How are we going to get it titled? And then lastly, for the title team, we've built this network of these third parties that I referenced earlier to give title clerks the assistance, and in some cases they'll have these third parties just complete the deal entirely for them.
Okay.
So all the positions kind of in the sales side of this transaction are satisfied through the product.
Okay. I recently moved to Florida, and
Congratulations.
I bought a new car in Florida, and I was thrilled.
Awesome.
Thrilled with the idea that I didn't have to go to the DMV or any of that nightmare afterwards, and they took care of all of it.
Well, great.
So what's this telling us? This
Right.
is around turnaround times that for some states are longer than others. Is that?
Yes, that is correct. So, turnaround times are kind of the buzzword in this industry, and a lot of the current challenges are centered around, getting the tag and title complete. So,
because otherwise it's a contract in transit, right?
Exactly. Or talking actually with one of our bank contacts, he said if our lien isn't secured, that 50,000 car is actually a credit card. At this point.
Yes.
Right? So
that's right.
So that's why the banks are really scrutinizing dealers lately over that. But with our program and this network that we've created, we've essentially removed the middleman, and through our software and technology, created a way for dealers to partner with these third parties. So just to, a practical example of this, if you're selling that car in Florida to a customer that's titling in New York, the software actually connects you with a New York service provider. And and that provider will actually perform an electronic quality assurance of the scanned images of the documents, which is something completely unique to our product.
Wow.
And then once they accept the deal and it's mailed off to them, they can complete it in 2 or 3 days. So whereas traditionally, a dealer not using a product like this, it may take upwards of 2 months, right, to do this deal. But these agencies are quite often, electronically connected to the DMV.
Yeah, and when you have floor plan on the vehicle, time is money,
Exactly.
as you stated.
Right,
So
right.
that's great, fantastic. I love saving dealers time and money. That's wonderful.
Right.
All right, so let's talk just a bit about how our products work together.
Yes.
As I said, I have no intention of being in registration and titling, but I think you alluded to it earlier. When your product kind of kicks in, it marries that up with the F&I data
Yes.
that we have to ensure that when those forms are sent digitally, that everything is accurate, everything is correct to continue to make sure that your process is completed quickly.
Yes. You hit the nail on the head there. Not every provider that does similar work to we do integrates with DMS. So the integration that we have together is really special. And on the surface, most dealers would think, I want integration because it makes everything quicker, it makes the delivery process quicker, my customer's waiting less, and that is certainly true, would be in total agreement with that. But we see it from the angle of, it eliminates the need to rekey data. So with these other providers that don't have integration, those finance teams and sales teams have to key in VIN numbers and driver's license numbers and addresses and bank ELT codes. Any of those items, if one character is off,
they're alphanumeric,
right,
and
if one character is off, that could result in a titling nightmare.
Right.
You may have done all of this work to title the vehicle, and that digit being flip-flop means that car doesn't have a lien recorded on it. It's kind of crazy. So the integration not only speeds it up, but it also prevents mistakes, critical, mistakes that.
Well, good. Well, what I tell all of our vendor partners is don't hesitate to reach out to us if we can do more.
Absolutely.
Right? If we can find additional data elements that you need that we can pass electronically, because our goal in this entire network of third-party vendor partners that we have is to drive efficiency into the dealership.
I love it.
So. Excellent. Well, congratulations on the rollout
Thank
of
you.
Dealer50. I hope you're having a good show, and
Absolutely.
I hope dealers who are watching this will head on down there.
All right, thank you very much, Sharon.
Thank you. Thanks for the partnership, David. Appreciate it.